What's going on, everybody? So we got a little bit of an update. We're putting my EM1 on hold for now. I ended up getting rid of the only running car I had, so that I don't have a car payment, so that I can use that money towards the other two cars. So since I need a running car right now, we're gonna put the EM1 on hold for now, because I don't want to daily drive it, because they do get stolen quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the GTI. So this is the block that we'll be throwing on in there. It has nothing on it. This is the block that we're gonna be pulling all of the parts off and kind of the donor motor to put everything onto it so that we can get the car up and running. We got a full shop right now. Eddie over there is gonna help us out a little bit as much as he can, but he's got another project that he's working on. Let's take a look at what he's doing. Eddie, so what's going on over here?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Alright, so this is Javier's K20A JDM. Oh, K24A, I'm sorry. We did the RBC 50-degree cam gear. Went ahead and did new timing chain guides. Drag cartel chain guides, so that way if the tension was to ever give out, it won't jump timing. We did the Type S oil pump. It is already notched for the motor, and now we're just slapping it together.
Awesome. Now, some of you that are in the MQB platform community might have heard this person before, but for those of you that do not know, this is our buddy Cameron. He is from Chicago. He was with us for a little bit. He moved back up there. Luckily, he came back because he loved the heat down here, you know.
Love it, you know.
And he is a VW technician, so he knows what he's doing when it comes to work on these engines. So he's gonna help me out, give me a few pointers on how to do this, because I am not a technician in any way, shape, or form. So we're gonna go ahead and start taking stuff off. Let's go and get started. All right, Cameron, so what are we doing right now?
We are taking off the camshaft position sensors. We're going to take those off and just take them off for now. So
are we going to reuse these as well?
Yeah, we're going to reuse these. These can be reused. We're just taking these off so we can take the valve cover off as a whole, so we can take off the camshaft and all that stuff underneath.
So, quick question. Are any of these bolts stretch bolts where they're on one-time use only, or do you just reuse them?
You can reuse these ones on the actuators themselves, and some other ones, like obviously when we take off the upper timing cover, you're gonna get new bolts with the kit itself. Okay. The valve cover, I do recommend doing new bolts on. That's a good one to do, especially inside of where the cam's at. We're gonna want to put new bolts in there as well. Okay. But other than that, some of them you don't have to, some of them you do. It really just depends, honestly.
Okay. Ease off. Now, because this bracket is in the way, I have to go in here with a 10 and loosen them up this way. Alright, that one's loose. Now, this bolt right here specifically can be difficult. If you can get an extra pair of hands, get somebody to pull the old dipstick housing out of the way for you, or remove it yourself, whatever easiest for you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove the bracket so that we can take all the timing components out of this block. What all are we taking from this block exactly? What are all the parts?
We're just taking off whatever's underneath the valve cover, so basically the camshaft, bridges that whole pin, and then that's basically it underneath. The new motor comes with everything. We're going to be putting on another chain as well with a new one, so it's going to be just about most things under there, other than the springs and all that other fun stuff.
Look at Eddie.
There's nothing even on there.
taking time out of his busy day.
Now
Show the new technician what's up.
Remove the valve cover and then the timing chain. Only worry about the timing chain.
So apparently timing is not Cam's strong suit here. So Eddie came by to show us a couple things on how to get this timing kit out. Once we get it all out, we just got to open up the head, grab those parts that Cam was talking about earlier. And really there isn't much else that we got to yank off, put onto the new block, and then we can throw it all into my car. Couple stock parts that I need to go ahead and find and source, which isn't too hard. We have a lot of the parts already. So car is hopefully going to be up and running by the end of October, hopefully a little bit sooner. All right, we got most of the things we need off in terms of what was on the head. We got it on for the most part, torqued down and everything. We cleaned up the head on the inside the best we could. It was actually pretty clean, wasn't too bad. We used that wonderful parts cleaner that Eddie has to get all of the old sealant off of there. Got the new stuff in, as you can see. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do, got the crankshaft pulley off. We're gonna go ahead and take this entire timing cover off, get the chains and everything off, and then we're gonna put it on the new one. We're also gonna need the upper oil pan as well, as this one doesn't have it. So we're gonna go ahead and get that started. Alright, give us a quick little rundown, the basics of timing.
Suck my dick, bitches. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, is that how you really feel?
Anyways, you always want to make sure your top dead center, cylinder number one, which I already know how this engine looks. So as you can see, this crankshaft is at full extension. It's all the way up. Camshafts, you always want these marks to be facing up, or they got these little slots right here. And the timing cover, which I haven't put the tools on yet, but I will soon put the tools on to put those in time. Balance shafts, I always make sure this one's kind of facing up. This one right here, which let me get a flashlight. There's two little notches in the bottom of that cam gear. Let me see, go a little bit up, D, a little more right. Let me see, right there. So you see those two little notches right there in the bottom of this gear, and that notch on this gear. You want those to fall in between. Once it falls in between like that, that means the balance shafts are now balanced and in time. And now all you gotta do on the chain, you gotta match the notches. So you got this notch on the balance shaft, this other notch on this other balance shaft, and on this one you're gonna go on this outside ring gear because you can see that there's two marks. This is for the upper timing chain, which is for the camshafts. This is for the balance shafts. You want to match this notch, this notch, this notch with the notches that are on the chain, which let me show you here. Clean this up a little bit. As you can see, ignore these two notches. Don't worry about those. You got one notch here, one notch there, and one notch here. The links in between is literally the same, so you do not have to worry about, oh, which side goes to which. So you put that on the mark, you put this other one on this mark, and then you just want to make sure this one falls on the mark. So now mark, 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 and now your balance shafts are in time. Now you got to put your guides on, tensioner, and you'll be ready, which we'll show you in a bit. All right, guys, so as you can see, we already got the balance shaft in time. You can see I got this one on the notch, notch over here. Got the guides in, tying down. I got the tensioner in. Don't ask me about torque specs because I do not know the torque specs to these, but I just make sure they're nice and tight. Followed by the book though. I already got these locked. As you can see, I got this on the mark, and this is the timing chain. Sadly, this timing chain didn't come marked, but since luckily we work on these MQB motors, or technically EA triple eights, I kind of have these by memory already. So I went ahead and marked the ones for the camshafts, which is 11 teeth together, and from this one to the crankshaft, it's a total of 39, which as you can see, got them all nice and marked. Let's go ahead and throw this in there. around this bolt here. And just have to get over this. And as long as you're on the marks, we're gonna mark here, mark there, down here. See, we're on the mark. We're ready to throw our guides on. We'll show you in a bit how it looks like once the guides are in. Alright, so this is the tensioner that we're gonna be using on these cars. The only reason we are reusing it is because we had just did timing chains on these motor before it blew up. So this doesn't have very much miles on it, so that's why we're gonna go ahead and reuse it. Other than that, if you have high miles, just go ahead and replace it. You know, it doesn't hurt. It's only $100 if I'm not mistaken. So the way we're gonna compress it is, I'm gonna put on the vise, slightly squeeze in. You gotta be careful with this clip, because if you're not careful with that clip, you will damage the clip, and then you will definitely need a new tensioner. What I do, I like to squeeze this clip and hold it towards the front and slowly compress the tensioner. Oil's gonna squeeze out, just so you know. Don't be afraid, because keep in mind this is hydraulic operated as well. Alright, so the tensioner is now all the way in. Let me go ahead and clean this up a little bit. This is the tensioner tool that you will need. Just make sure it's good. Slide it in. Slowly let the tensioner out. And there you have it. It's nice compressed, ready for you to install. Alright. Alright, back to where we were at. So, went ahead and got the chain on, guides on. Always make sure you're on your notches. Notch, notch, notch down here. As you can see, let me see. There you go, D. There you go. And I always like to hold this just to make sure it doesn't jump out of time or anything. But now that it's all in notch, pull your clip out. Boom. She is now ready to go. You just got to pull out your locking tool, put your cam bridge back on. Don't forget to put your valve back in, and she'll be ready to go. As you can see, the timing is now done. The only thing that's missing is the oil pump and the oil pump chain, which we still haven't got the upper oil pan on just yet. As you can see, we still have to remove it, but we will soon. I'm gonna just go ahead and set this here there. Set the oil pump chain, which is I think already lost. No, it's still on here. I forgot. I can't take it off. Can't take it off until I remove the oil pump and all that. But timing is already set. We got the balance shaft set. We got the upper timing chain set. As you can see, we got the cam bridge installed. We got the bolts on there. Went ahead, installed the N205 valves.
Which you do need a special tool for.
Yes, you do need a special tool for it, which is this. What part number? Who knows? I don't know. There it is. But each car uses a different size tool, so you can always buy a kit. Other than that, timing is done. This block is almost together, so just keep our fingers crossed. Maybe next weekend or following weekend after that, car's running.